Welcome to this beginner's crash course on the Qt framework. If you are new to Qt, it's a powerful tool for building cross-platform applications, meaning you can create apps that work on different operating systems like Windows, macOS, and Linux using a single code base. Qt is used by many top companies like Autodesk, Skype, and the Qt company, making it a popular choice for building professional-grade applications. In this video, I'll show you how to get started with Qt and create a simple calculator app from scratch. So let's dive in. Before we can get started with creating our app, we need to install the Qt framework. To do this, we'll need to download Qt Creator from the official Qt website. To do that, you can go to qt.io and then from here you can click download. And when you go down in this site, you will see that there is a section called Download Qt for Open Source Use. Here you can click Go Open Source. For now, we can just install the open source version. Once you start creating huge projects, then you can buy the commercial version. For now, we can just use the open source version for our lesson. You can read everything here and learn about the license and stuff. So to get started, we will go down to this section where it says looking for Qt binaries and click on this download the Qt online installer. And from here you can click download to download the Qt online installer. After the download has been completed, you can open the installer. Here it will prompt you to log into your Qt account. Since you don't have a Qt account, you can click on this sign up button. And then here you can give a valid email address. So for the sake of this video, I will type this is malindu@gmail.com and I will give a password and then I will accept the service terms and then I can click next. Now I need to verify my Qt account. So to do that, I will go to Gmail and from here I will click on this link. Here I need to fill out these details, so I will quickly do that. You can check this or not. I'm just going to check this. And then after that, I will click confirm. And now I can sign in to my Qt account. Now I will go back to the application and then I will click login. And here I will type my credentials and then I will click next. So after that, we can click this I have read and agreed to the terms and conditions. And then we can click this if we want. And then we can click next. For now, I will just disable sending usage statistics in Qt Creator and then we can click next. And here we need to specify where the Qt framework will be installed. So I'm just going to type Qt framework and then from here, let's click on this one and install everything required for desktop development. We don't need the other things right now. We can just go with this option. And then you can agree to these terms and conditions and then click next. I will choose a folder for the Qt framework in the start menu and then click next. And then you can click install. And it will download everything and install the Qt Creator for you. This will take a while because it has a lot to download. Just give it a minute and then we can proceed to the next step of our video. I have to say the installation process was very inefficient because it had a lot of small parts to download and because of that it could not maintain a proper speed throughout the download. So it took longer than it should if it were a single file. So anyways, after the installation is done, we can exit the wizard by clicking finish. And then you can launch the Qt Creator from your start menu. So the first thing we need to do is change the theme of this application. So we will go to edit, preferences, and from here I will choose a dark theme. So I'm going to choose design dark and then click apply and then restart now. And then it will restart the IDE and it will be using the dark theme next time. So now we can create a project using the Qt Creator. So let's click create project. Make sure that Qt widgets application is selected. It will be under application and then click choose. And then you can give a name for your project. So I'm going to type Qt crash course and then you can choose where you want to save your project. I have set up a folder called repos for all of my programming stuff. And then in here, I have a folder called Qt and then I can create the project in there. And next I can click next. And for the build system, you can select QMake and then click next. And class name is basically the main file for our Qt application. All you have to know is this is somewhat similar to what we have in Windows Forms. We have the myform.h file or the myform.cpp file. Similarly, this is the main file for your application. So the main class will be main window, or you can just name it whatever you want. We'll just leave the default value here, and then it will create a header file, a source file, and a form file, which is basically where our UI stuff will be created. And then we can click next. And right now we don't need any translations. If you are planning to provide translations in the future with your real app, then you can select the translation file from here and then click next. And then you should see this checked if you followed the installation steps as I did, and then you can click next. For now we don't need version control, so I will just click finish. Don't worry, I will create tutorials in the future including all those steps, because for now we are just focusing on the basic important parts to get started with the Qt application. So now we have the main.cpp file where our main function is located, and in here, as you can see, it has included the main window.h file, and also it has included Q application header. And then using that we have created some code and also a main window called w, and then we have w.show to show that window. And we don't need to worry about these things right now, but I will explain them later in another video. For the sake of this video, we will just focus on what is required. So as you can see, this is the main window.h file, and this is the main window.cpp file. And under forms, you will see the main window.ui file where our UI will be available. So here we can create the UI for our application. So I'm going to make some room for my design area, and I will resize my form a little bit so that it fits in my screen. And there are few panels you need to know. The first one is this section. Here you can navigate into different sections just like in VS Code. So this is our edit section where we can write code, and then the design section is for designing the UI, and then you have the projects, debug, and all that stuff. And here you can run the application from here. Here we have what is called the object inspector. You can see all the components you have added into your form right here. If you add a button, let's say, you can see that it's under the central widget. And if you type something here, you can see that it went under the menu bar section. So it is really organized well to show you what's inside your application. So I will just undo. And then we have this property inspector. Here we can change the properties just like we did in WinForms in Visual Studio. So everything is similar to that experience. So all we have to do is get started with the application. So since we are creating a simple calculator app, I will just remove this menu bar by clicking on it and right click, remove menu bar, and the status bar, because I don't need those in this application. But in a future video, we will create some advanced applications. So in that case, we will use different widgets like that one. Also, I need to mention that everything in Qt is considered a widget. All of these are widgets, and the central widget is what holds all these widgets in your application. As you can see, we cannot remove that. Okay, the UI is simple for our calculator app. We are not going to do anything complex. We are just going to create a very simple UI. So for that, we first need a label. So if you go all the way down here, you will see label, or you can just filter and find the label. And I will click and drag it right here. And then here you can double click on it to change its text. So here I will type first number, and I will resize it so that it fits the word. And then I can copy and paste using Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V, and I can place it right here for the second number. Okay, now we need a text field. So naturally you would use something called text edit or plain text edit, but in this case what we need is line edit, because this is similar to what we have in WinForms, the simple text box where you just have one line of text, and the other ones are like the rich text box. So we can just place this one right here, and I will copy and paste it, and then we can align everything like this. Okay, now we need some buttons to do our arithmetics. So I will search for button. So as you can see, it's called push button. So I will drag and drop it right here. And then I will change its text to the plus sign. I'll resize it a little bit and then copy and paste, and I will place it right here, and I will copy and paste it again and again like that. And this one will be minus, and this one will be divide, and this one will be multiplication. And then finally we can add another label for the result. So I will say the result is, and then we can have another text box for displaying the result. Okay, so now we need to give these text boxes and buttons names. So let's go to the object inspector for that, and then you can double click on these names to edit their names. So I will click on this one and I will say first num, actually txt first num. Okay, and then for this one I will type txt second num, and for this one I will say txt result. So it is always a good idea to name everything when you place them, because otherwise it will be overwhelming to name everything after you design the UI. So it is better to name everything as you go designing the UI. So I will say this one is btn add, and this one is btn subtract, and this one is btn divide, and this one is btn multiply. We don't need to name the labels because we are not going to change anything in those labels, but we need to change one thing here, which is we need to change this text box to a read-only text box. So to do that, you can click on the text box and go to its properties right here, and then under Q line edit section all the way down here, and you can see read only. You can check that one, and then it will be a read only text box. So let's run this application and see if the UI works. So you can click this icon to just run, and this one to start debugging. So I will just run the application because we don't need to do any debugging right now, and then it will build everything. And as you can see, the build process, and our application is done. So there is one UI bug, which is actually, since my operating system's display zoom level is set to 150%, the application has messed up its UI. So as you can see, it is not looking as it should. So I will just adjust those things. So for now, I'm not bothered by the appearance of this UI because we can do everything later. For now, we are just focusing on the functionality. The UI is okay, but we don't have any logic for the application to work. So let's get started with the logic part. So in WinForms, all you had to do is double click on a button to create the event handler. So in Qt, it's a little bit different. It has something called signals and slots. So in this case, if you want to handle the click event, all you have to do is right click on this button and then click go to slot. And then from here, you can select clicked and then click OK. And then it will create the event handler for our click event. So here we can start writing our code. So first I will create 3 variables to hold the values from the text boxes because it will be easier. Okay, after that we need to grab the text from the text boxes and convert those strings into integers and assign them to these variables. We can do the operation, so in this case, which is adding those 2 numbers and then assigning that value to result and then converting that integer into a string and then assigning it to the result text box. So let's do that. So to do that, first you need to type UI. So the UI namespace gives us everything inside our main window.ui file. So here we can type UI txt first num, and in here you can type text, and what we need to do is to int, and we will assign that to first num. I will do the same thing for the second num as well, and this one is going to be second num. So here I will type second num, and then we can add those 2 values and assign that to result. And now we can convert a result and set the text of the txt result text box to result. Okay, so I will do that. So for that we can type again UI, and here we can type txt result, and here we have a method called set text. Okay, so here we can pass a q string actually. So we will type q string, and there is method inside this class called number. So we can use that to convert the int into a Q string. So as you can see, it takes an integer. So we can pass result. Now let's run the application and see if the add function is working. So let's run the application. So let's do something like 12 and 2, and then I will click here and then it will show me 14. And then I can double click on this text and then Control C to copy it, and I can paste it if I want. Okay. So how did I know that there is a method called QStringNumber? Well, you can refer to the documentation or just Google. So let's try that. So let's type convert int to QString, and then you can go to the forum or you can just go to Stack Overflow, and then you can see this answer, which is exactly what we did. And actually, since Qt framework is so matured and there's a huge community with it, almost every error you find will be documented somewhere or asked in forum, or you can find answers on Stack Overflow. So it's really a great framework for beginners because it makes it easier to learn. And also the documentation is really good. So you can go to the Qt documentation, and from here you can learn everything including installing Qt, and everything you can find right here. And then here we can search if we want. So we will type int to QString. We can click QString class, and then you can see everything the class offers. So okay, here it is, QStringNumber. So you can find everything in the documentation, or you can just search Google and there will be a Stack Overflow thread for that one. So you should be good to go with using Qt framework for your applications in the future. So it is really easy to learn. So it is really easy to get started with Qt. So now I will just copy everything and I will go back to our UI and then right click on this button and go to slot and click OK to create the clicked event handler, and then I will paste right here, and then I will go back to the UI file, do the same for these other two buttons as well, and I will paste again. And for the subtract one, I will just subtract, and for the division one I can divide, and then for the multiplication I can multiply. So these are just basic programming stuff. So basically the Qt stuff is over. Now we can run the application. Okay, so let's try something. So we will type 12 and 2 and then add 14, 10, 6 and 24. So everything works as they should. Okay, so there's our application, and I know this is such a basic application, but I think I gave some insight into the Qt framework. We don't need to create a huge application to get started. So I think this was some great inspiration for creating your own applications in the Qt framework or the Qt creator. So the next question is, how do I export this application to someone's computer? So to do that, so we can right click some file right here and we can click show in Explorer. So I will go to the Qt folder again. So here you can see this build Qt crash course desktop debug folder, and in here you can find under the debug folder the application. But now if you try to run this application, you will get an error saying that some DLL files are missing. So as you can see, the Qt stuff is missing and some GCC stuff is missing. So what we have to do is we can copy this application, and I will create a new folder for now, and I will go inside there and paste the application right there, and then I will open a command line in here, and then now we are going to use a tool provided by Qt to export applications including the DLL files. So where is this file located? You can go to the installation location of Qt and find that file manually, but I would just recommend using everything search from Void Tools, because it's a really great tool when you are a programmer, because all the time we need to find files all over our system. So it's really a useful tool to have. So this is my primary search tool, So I will just open it. You can download it by just going to Google and searching everything, and the website will be voidtools.com, and from there you can download. So if you want the dark theme, you can download the 1.5a alpha version. So otherwise it will be in the light theme. And the best thing is this only takes a few seconds to index everything on your hard disk or your SSD, and it will give search results instantaneously. So if I type win deploy, which is the file's name, so I can see win deploy Qt. So I will drag and drop this file to my command line. So I can drag and drop this here, and then I can just press enter. So as you can see, we need one argument, binaries or directory containing the binary. So we can just pass dot saying that this use this folder, the current folder. So then it will generate every file needed for our application, and then it should work. So let's see if it works. So as you can see, again, it's showing some error. I don't know what the error is, but I always solve that by manually searching this file. So we can just click OK. So the file is called libgcc. So let's search that one also. So I will type libgcc. So as you can see, this everything application is really useful in this case because we don't know where that file is, but we can grab it from the Qt folder. So here we have that file. So I will just copy that one here and then click OK. And then let's run the application again. And then it's saying a different error. So I did some research and found these three files that are needed to run the application. So I will put them into a zip file and I will upload them to our Telegram channel. So you can click the link in the description and come to the Telegram channel, and then you can download this file. I'm doing this obviously to encourage you to join our Telegram group, but it will be really useful because recently someone left a comment in a video and also they included a screenshot of the error message in our Telegram group. So because of that, we were able to debug that issue and give the solution for all the people in that comment section. So actually a lot of people had the same issue. So I could not debug the error because I didn't have any information. So since this person gave us a screenshot and told everything in detail, we were able to debug the issue and fix the error. So it's really useful when you are in our Telegram group. You can discuss and there are other people to help you as well. It's a small community, but sure, you can get some help. So I encourage you to join the Telegram group. There you can find these three files in a zip file under the downloads topic. So all you have to do is extract the zip file and then copy these three files and then paste them where your application is. So since I already have one DL file which we got from the search, so it's saying that we have to replace. So I will replace those files. Now the application should work if I launch it. So as you can see, it works perfectly. And now we can run the same thing like this. So if we add 15 and everything works. So that's it. The application works and we designed a simple UI and then we wrote some code and then we compiled and then we exported the application successfully. You can put all of these in a zip file and then you can give that to your friend to try out your application. Also, you don't need this translations folder. You can just delete that one because we don't have any translations for app, and keep the others because those are required. So the application is really just 1 megabyte, but 1.5 megabytes, but the whole application including the DLLs is about 55 megabytes. I know that's huge, but it's actually not that huge when you start creating actually huge application. So the file size of the DLL files is creating a huge impact on our file size because this application is so small. But when you are creating larger applications, that really doesn't become an issue. So for example, we have the Telegram desktop app, which is written in Qt, and if you are using Telegram, you know that it's really good looking and a really customized application, which also have a macOS version and a Linux version, which all look the same. I'm just saying that you can use Qt to customize the UI and create whatever you want. And the best part is most of that code is cross-platform. So you can use the same code base for all those three platforms. And actually, there is a saying that if you're using Qt, you can export your application or compile your application to run on almost anything on the planet. So it's really a great framework. So what I was saying is that the Telegram desktop app installer is really just 40 megabytes, but that app is really huge. The installer is 40 megabytes, and then it will install the application, and then it will install the DL files and all that stuff. But after all, the app is fast and also responsive and really good looking, considering that it is a C++ application. I'm not saying C++ applications are bad, but from experience we know that it is really hard to create C++ GUI applications. So in this case, you have really great proof for showing that you can create great applications using C++ using the Qt framework. So those are the things I needed to discuss in this video. So if we go through the process again, first we created a project which is a Qt widgets application, and then there we have a few files which are the main.cpp file where our main function is, and then we have the main window.cpp file and the main window.h file, and we have the main window.ui file. Everything except this file is conventional, and in here what we have is basically an XML file to declare the UI. But we can also design the UI like this. You can also define UI in the code using C++. We'll look into that in another video. So for example, if you want to create a component in the runtime, so if you wanted to create a button at runtime, you can do that via code. Of course, you should be able to. So we have the design section where you can design the UI of your application. We have the toolbox, and then we have the object inspector, the property inspector, and then we also have some tools up here, but we didn't use any of those. So we can search for the tools and drag and drop them here, double click on them to change their text, and we can adjust the properties and we can rename them using the object inspector, and then right click an object and go to slot to create the event handler for the event you want. And then it will give us the event handler in the main window.cpp file. Here we can add our custom code to work, and then you saw that the text boxes use Q strings. So we saw some methods to convert strings into integers and integers into Q string. I also showed you where to find all this material. You can just Google them, Stackoverflow and the documentation, or you can just ask in our Telegram group or search in Reddit. Then our application works inside Qt Creator, but when we go outside of it and launch it manually, we got some errors, and we fixed those by running windeploy-qt.exe, and then we generated all these files, but it was still missing 3 files, and then we copied those from the zip file we get from our Telegram group. So after copying that, we can run our application successfully, and the application is really fast. So I have tried reading a huge text file which is like 200-300 megabytes and grabbing every line of that text file and listing them in a list box. So that was just really fast considered to every other framework. So in C# it was really slow, and then I tried that in Wx widgets. It was fast, but not as fast as Qt. So Qt is really fast, and it is a really great framework if you are trying to build applications in C++. So I also have to say that everything here is customizable. So you can change the text box if you want, and also the great thing is Qt provides a property for the text box called placeholder text. You can look it in the properties inspector and type something there, and it will show some placeholder text in this text box. So I'm not going to show that. I want you to try that, and you can start building your applications. And in another video, we will go in depth to other stuff in the Qt framework. So for now, that's it for this video. So I think you learned a lot in this video, and I hope you will be able to create applications on your own using Qt. So Qt is a really matured framework, and the best thing is you can compile your applications onto all platforms. So using a single code base. So let's say you have a machine where you have Linux, and then you had Qt Creator in there, and you can import this project into your Linux machine and then compile the same code without changing anything, and then it will produce a Linux executable. Same goes for macOS, and it is really great to have that feature. So that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to join our Telegram group. If you haven't subscribed the channel, subscribing would be really helpful for me. And if you think the video was great, you can click the like button and share this with your friends, and leave a comment in the comment section with everything you have to say about the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye for now.